Yeah, you're local now.
Oh, yeah.
You're local now, and we are live. And good morning. Welcome to our Saturday morning chat. Ninth one. This is the 9th week in a row.
Woo-hoo.
Number 9.
Cool. I
Engine.
hope people are enjoying this.
Wasn't there a song, Engine Number 9, by Roger Miller? It was a country song.
Well, maybe.
Man, I don't know where I got off track today because I forgot, and that leads into this. Memory. We're talking about memory today. I'd really like to turn over the intro to one of you two ladies because you describe it so eloquently. So I will defer the floor.
Great. I got a question for you.
What? Diana, your audio's gone. No audio. It's okay. This is live. People understand this. It's live.
While we're waiting for Diana to come back to us, I just want to ask our viewers a question, or our participators a question. How many times have you walked into a room and said, why did I come in here? Or maybe, what about you can't find your car keys, right? Everybody thinks it's not a big deal and it's going to just be that way. Diana, you're still on mute.
Yeah, now she is.
Yeah. There you go. Much better.
Thank you.
Much better. That's okay. So Diana and I and Chris want to talk to you a little bit about 7 ways to improve your memory. Because it is kind of a big thing to have good memory and concentration. So we want to be able to help you with that little part of your aging process. Diana, you want to say something?
Yeah, yes. As a nurse and a health coach also, people tend to think that it's about getting older, and it's really not just about getting older. It's about how your body ages, and you can age better or you can age with grace. And our tips today will be about aging with grace today. There's so many things you can do. It's so positive. It's such a positive thing. And I think all of us experience a little bit of that. And what the things that we're going to talk about today, I noticed a huge difference in myself. And I only share things that I know that work for me. So I'm going to share them with you. And I've been doing this 30 years, so I have a lot of stories. So.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I've got personal experience as well. I do want to let everyone know that if they're interested in getting our free copy of our ebook on this topic, 7 ways to improve your memory, focus, and reduce mental decline, reach out to Chris and let him know that you're interested. Give him an email, and we're happy to share that with you because it really stinks when you can't find your keys.
That's right. I hear you on that one. So, you want to get started?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So how about if I give our participators a quick overview of what we're going to talk about?
Okay. Can I just say one more thing? To remember to talk about things like what's the other concern about this is the fact that there's a lot of children have like learning disorders. These are all mixed in with this.
Yeah.
So ADD, ADHD, all that kind of stuff, which Deb knows a lot about. That's Deb's specialty.
Yeah. Yeah, so, that's a really good point. Okay, so we're going to talk why brain health is so important, which foods and nutrients help improve and protect your brain. We'll do a little test to see if somebody can get it right. What's one of the key fruits that helps with that? We'll ask that a little bit later. 7 simple but powerful ways to improve your memory, and a product that we carry that protects you against age-related mental decline, and it has tests that prove it. So back to you, Di.
Okay, so let's start off with one of the big things is exercise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we hear about exercise all the time, right? But it actually increases. Yeah, that Chris is showing us how to exercise in the other. Thank you, Chris. Good to have a demonstration. Anyway, it increases. So 2 15-minute segments every day increases, there's a certain factor, hormone, whatever you want to call it, in your brain that actually improves your memory. And there's a couple of things that's important to think about as we get older. I remember in nursing school, we learned that we lose brain cells as we get older. And I'm like,
that's what I was going to say.
We don't.
Let's ask Chris. What age do you think your brain's neural connections actually start declining?
50-ish?
20.
20?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the good news is, you know the idea how important it is to have community in your life. It's the same thing with your brain. Your brain needs to have a lot of connections, and that improves as you get older if you deliberately focus on that. And that hormone that I was talking about helps you do that. That helps you have more connections, because you want all the little brain. The brain cells are called neurons in the head, and so that increases the circulation to all the neurons. That makes you think about, there they are, I see. But that increases all the circulation. And they also talk about neuroplasticity, meaning that the cells connect to each other. We are actually better as you're older. If you notice that you can kind of correlate things better than when you were younger. We tend to be more black and white when we're younger in terms of our thinking. So as we get older, if you work on that particular thing, you're actually better at putting thoughts together.
Right. So it starts to decline at age 20, but by our mid 40s, it occurs at an even faster rate, which leads to the increased incidence of forgetfulness, poor concentration, mood swings, and other cognitive problems. So that's probably why you were thinking 50, Chris.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, many people follow the don't fix what's not broken philosophy. They don't worry about brain health until they start noticing issues or have a serious illness or brain-related injury. But, now is the time to do something about it.
Right.
So exercise not only helps with just increasing circulation to those important cells that help you remember and help you think clearer. Mm-hmm. The other thing it does, when you're doing like an aerobic class, you got to think about one thing after the other. You start creating stronger connections. You want to create new pathways in your brain also. So you have to create new pathways. The more you learn new things at any age, the stronger your brain is. And that helps. So now you got the movement form of it, mm-hmm. and you got the brain form, and that's a great combination for brain health.
Wow.
If you're thinking clearer.
So
and I like...
taking classes, college classes, or any kind of classes and things like that, and stimulating your brain in any way, in any form.
Yes, Sudoku, crossword puzzles, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach a yoga class at a gym, and my participants yesterday were like 90-year-olds, and I loved it. They look great because they exercise and they're very sharp. And they catch on really quick. And it's interesting because they're an example of that. When you exercise regularly, your brain stays sharper. Interesting. Also, when you're teaching yoga, it's about relaxing when you're exercising also, which helps relax the brain also.
Right. So should we tell people what they can be looking for, like some
yes.
warning flags that signal that you're having some poor brain health? So we already talked a little bit about forgetting the keys and stuff. So any memory loss, brain fog, believe it or not, depression and anxiety, and difficulty learning. Also lack of motivation, and you tire easily, and you have poor focus and concentration. So those are the things that you want to be watching out for. But like we were saying, there are things that you can do to control brain degeneration.
And so sometimes children get labeled as not being poor learners, or those kind of things. And even as adults, sometimes we think, wow, I'm really stupid. I didn't remember this. It's not, it's just what you're doing in your daily activities. Sometimes that can actually sharpen your brain. So it's not about just, are you innately a smart person or not a smart person? It's really about some of the things you're doing every day to help your brain get sharper.
Well, the neuroscience today has discovered that our bodies can regenerate new brain cells, but you got to have exercise and the right nutrients.
For sure. So here's some other ones just to think about. So we've said forgetfulness, mental confusion, where am I kind of thing, foggy thinking, migraines. You know, you never think about migraines as being affiliated with brain health. Alzheimer's kind of things. You know, you remember things that are just recent. You remember the past, but not so much things that are recent that you just learned.
Short-term versus long-term memory.
Thank you.
Chris, did you know that, and I'll get back to you in a second, Di. Chris, did you know that 1 in 8 senior citizens develop Alzheimer's?
1 in 8?
1 in 8. And 1 in 8 children are diagnosed with brain development disorders that Diana was talking about before, ADD, ADHD, and autism.
My son has ADHD.
Well, that's actually what got me involved with the company that we partnered with for our nutrition, was because of my son's ADHD.
Wow, yeah. He was held back a year in kindergarten because of it. Had to get in a different class. And it hasn't affected him a whole lot, but yeah, I have some memories of that for sure.
And it's a label for kids, you know, it's a label. And so you really want to give your kids the best, you know, the best start in life in terms of confidence and knowing that they can make it on their own, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. You want to start with food? What do you think? For your brain?
Yeah, food for your brain.
Food for your brain, or food mood. Food.
Food mood.
Food mood.
You in a food mood, or is the food making you in a mood?
This is a funny thing. I always ask people how when you're driving in the afternoon and you have not eaten in the afternoon and you're hungry, are you nicer in the car? You let people pass more in the car, or you're not nicer?
No, your adrenaline kicks in. It's like, I'm not going to let that Ford beat my Chevy. Come on.
Exactly. So you want it. So that brings me to, you want to have good blood sugar consistently throughout the day. It's really important. Thank you, Chris, for that. You want to have good blood sugar because that really affects the brain. So listen, our brain weighs 3 pounds. So your head weighs 3 pounds, okay? But it gets 25% of the blood supply. It needs the sugar to think. It needs it for the energy. It needs 2 things, actually. It needs sugar and fats, but we'll talk about fats in a few minutes. But it needs 2 things, sugars and fats, but healthy fats, and throughout the day. Because you'll know, and it's so easy to remember, because like in the afternoon, the question I just asked you is, you know, your brain is foggier when you're hungrier, right? That's just telling you, it's your brain telling you, I need something to eat. So your brain speaks to you, by the way.
Yeah, it has 100 billion cells.
Yeah, because they have to be fed throughout the whole day. But I just thought it was interesting. It needs 20 to 25% of the blood. So the energy, so it really needs a lot of energy to work.
The more balanced you are with your eating and the more that you feed it, the better off you are. And why is it that we only use a small percentage of our brains? I mean, how would we, you've heard that fact before.
I have. I know. It's interesting, right?
And how would we utilize more? I mean, imagine if we used half instead of whatever it is with the percentage even that. It's amazing. So I guess the better off you feed, I'm taking over. I didn't mean to do that.
No, that's okay.
That's great. It's a great discussion. It's a great discussion.
The more you feed your brain, the better off you're going to. For one thing, confidence will be there for sure.
Yes.
And just feeling better about everything. So Feed your brain. The ladies know what they're talking about.
So we're talking now we're talking sugar, right? So sugar, we're talking about more longer lasting sugars like fruits. And Deb has a great question for you too, by the way. So sugar So what kind of fruits? So fruits are good. Anything with fiber, like grains, like whole grains, that's a longer lasting sugar. So your brain needs that consistent flow of energy and from the foods, from good sugars. And when people talk about sugar, I'm talking about fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Those are the three things I'm referring to. People always say, I'm on a low carb diet. And I'm saying, but you're eating fruits and vegetables. And so fruits and vegetables are carbs, by the way. So any comments about those things?
Well, I'd like to add something about the little ones out there. There's studies that show that 80% of kids who eat only whole unprocessed foods, like we're talking about, they show significant improvement in behavior in just 6 weeks. So
that's amazing.
It is for those kids out there that are having issues. You definitely want to get them on a whole unprocessed food diet, because 50% of those kids no longer meet diagnostic criteria for attention deficit disorder. So we know that real food heals your brain, right?
Real food, that's real food. You think about what foods are you eating in your day? What foods are actually coming from the ground, or what has taken a couple steps from the ground? So that's an interesting thought, right?
Yep. Look for leafy greens, things with lots and lots of color. Like beets have color. Look for the colorful, natural whole foods. Now I'm going to ask a question about one of the fruits that help protect the brain from oxidative stress and also reduces the effect of age-related conditions like Alzheimer's, like we were talking, or dementia. Chris, can you guess what that fruit is?
I'm just going to take a shot because I don't really know. What's that noise? Somebody mowing the lawn?
That's New York City.
Oh, New York City.
This is New York City. Welcome to New York City.
Yeah, I delayed my answer a little bit.
I see that. I see that.
I'm going to say apples. I'm just going to.
Well, it's a fruit, but we're going for blueberries because they contain flavonoids, which improves your memory and learning and general cognitive function.
That's why I see entrepreneurs like Gary Vee eating blueberries while he's going live talking about business.
Yeah.
Blueberries are, I have.
And they're so easy. They're so easy. You can you can get the organic frozen ones and throw them in your shake. My husband just eats a whole handful every morning. Because his pop died from Parkinson's, so he's trying to make sure he's doing the best he can.
Wow. Very, very smart. So what is
blueberries? You can never have enough blueberries in your
So what does that mean? So let me tell you what that means. Your brain is sensitive and it wants to have things that are real. And so when anything's not real, it makes it harder for the brain to use it, and it can damage your cells and your brains. So when we're saying that's the problem with processed foods. They're thinking about, like, when things are too processed, there's chemicals and stuff in them that it can actually damage the brain cells. So why we're eating blueberries and this kind of thing, and we're doing it just for your brain energy, but you're also doing to protect it from things that are like foreign to the brain that can damage the brain. So there's two reasons why we're doing it.
One of the reasons, back to what Chris was saying about the apples and citrusy fruits, the good thing about that choice, Chris, is that it is a high fiber food. So that's an excellent choice. I wasn't trying to negate that, but we really would love the blueberries added in.
Okay. Well, I have an apple a day at least. So
there you go. Good.
And what do they say about apples a day?
Keeps the doctor away. Well, I haven't seen one since I started doing it.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to just throw this out there because I don't want to forget to say it later. They were just saying that people over age 60 need more sleep, and it's more important for us to get sleep than when you were younger because of your brain. So I thought that was an interesting article. It was like in one of the things that you read in the morning with your morning shake. I didn't say morning Java. I said morning shake.
Morning shake. So, this culture is based on grab coffee, get your caffeine.
I know.
Go through Starbucks or Dunkin' or something like that, or some coffee place. How many coffee joints in New York City? I wonder.
Oh my! And every place. Oh, it's like
every corner.
And the funny thing is, even with COVID and industries like dyeing and stuff leaving, you still see like 2 or 3 coffee shops on every block almost. Coffee and shoes.
And I used to do something, and I called it, and I called it the Daily Walk for Coffee. And I used to grab my phone, and I'd go out and I'd actually go get coffee and talk about some business thing on the way live. But it was always about the coffee because that's the culture.
Right.
Get coffee, get going, especially on Monday. It's the whole thing. It's personified like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you actually had a protein shake instead, you'd be better off, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And protein is a good source for the brain also because your brain is made of cells. Every cell in your body needs protein. And so you want a protein at breakfast that's easy to digest and gets right to where it's supposed to go.
Right.
And one of the places it goes is the brain. 25% of it.
Wow.
You think about that, it's like, wow.
What'd you just say?
What's your name again?
I had to do that once.
Well, another thing that you want to get in is your B vitamins. Those are in your dark green leafy vegetables, whole grains, salmon, chicken, other foods, because they protect the brain from shrinkage as much as 90%. So what I do to make sure I get enough is I take a B vitamin every day because I need to make sure I get enough.
B vitamins also are vasodilators, meaning that if you want more circulation to your brain, things happen like you get plaque in your vessels sometimes and different things like that. And maybe you hear all this New York City stuff. So sorry.
NYPD on the job.
Exactly. So those things actually let the blood vessels that go to your brain, because you need the energy in the brain, those blood vessels, that's a vasodilator, means that makes it wider so that and more plastic, so that you're able to. You want plasticity. You don't want your joints stiff. You want everything more pliable, and that's how you want your blood vessels too. So B vitamins are huge for that, and they're good for a million other things too, for energy.
Oh, the happy vitamin.
Yeah, it's a happy vitamin. I'm happy. Mm-hmm.
Looks like Marty Feldman.
I love Marty Feldman.
Another way to eat smart, like we were talking before, is to increase your intake of omega-3 fatty acids. So those are considered your building blocks of the gray matter in your brain. So where you can look for those is in healthy oils. So olive oil, almond oil, avocado oil.
Go a little slower with those because I don't know if people know about all the oils.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you want to make sure you're getting a healthy oil. So you want to choose like avocado oil or extra virgin olive oil. There's another oil I'm forgetting. Avocado oil, olive oil.
I did write it down.
Maybe.
Avocado oil. I use that on my salads like all the time.
That sounds delicious.
That's
instead of the light Italian dressing I used to, which I love, but I've stopped because avocado oil is actually better for you.
Yeah.
Actually having an avocado, I don't like the taste, but I know it's very good for you. So, I'm wrestling with that a little bit.
I hear that.
Can I give you an idea how to get avocado in?
Sure.
Okay, couple ways. One is you can cut up an avocado, make sure it's ripe, not too ripe, not too mushy. And then, do you like tomatoes?
Yeah.
Fresh tomato, cut that up, this about the same size as the avocado. Then add salt and pepper, olive oil, and a little bit of balsamic vinegar.
Hang on. Diana's mic is
Diana's moving. She's trying to get away from the noise.
it's causing static though. I just can't hear what you're saying. Hang on a second.
Once Diana's got to sit still.
Yeah. That better? Now you're gone, but your audio's gone. You're gone. No. I have to buy her a new microphone.
Okay.
She's gonna send me a book. I'll send her a microphone.
Yeah. All right, Diana.
We still don't. We're not hearing. We're not hearing you.
Okay. All right. So that was the comedy version of our show this morning. So back to oils. Okay, so we were going to give Chris a tip on how to get some avocado in his little body there. So you cut up an avocado, you cut up a tomato, little balsamic vinegar, a little bit of olive oil or avocado oil, little salt and pepper.
Right.
And that is delicious. Is it the texture you don't like or the flavor?
The flavor. It just doesn't taste good. Avocado.
Okay. Balsamic vinegar will fix that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. And the tomato. I eat that a lot of times for my lunch just because I love it. And it's super good for you. But before I forget, and I'll hand it back to Diana, is also getting good fish in. And we talked a little bit about this in the past, just how hard it is to get fish that's not contaminated. So you want to look for wild caught. Even if you do tuna in the can, look for wild caught, always in water.
Yeah.
So those are a couple ways you can get it in. Now, if you're not someone who likes the taste of fish or you don't want to go through the trouble of finding good, clean fish, then we have a supplement that will help you get that in. Chris, you actually take it every day.
Oh,
it's in your Vitalizer Gold.
My what? My Vitalizer Gold? You mean it's in this box?
Yes, it is.
I can't even see it because the light's too weird. But yeah, there it is.
Okay.
And the thing about the omega and that gold is the fact that it's pure. They triple distill it, so there's really no contamination of heavy metals, which can be in fish.
Yeah.
And we also have an algae-based one also. So.
Yeah. Another one is increasing your intake of CoQ10. A lot of people that have had heart issues in the past, their doctor will tell them to go get a CoQ10 supplement. Ours is actually in that Vitalizer strip box, and that's an enzyme produced by the body that can penetrate brain cells to fight off stress. So that's what CoQ10 does. If you can get enough broccoli, spinach, beef, poultry, soybeans, and peanuts in a day, then maybe you don't need to supplement. But I make sure that's because
all at one meal. After the all at one meal,
I just can't eat all that stuff.
That's a lot of. I mean, if you were to take no supplements and get everything you needed through actually eating,
can't do it.
No way. Not especially.
Okay, here's a nature question. Why are we built that way? Why can't we? Why isn't the food?
Well, the food doesn't have as much value as it used to have. For one thing.
Yeah.
Back when your great grandparents were here, Chris, you didn't have to supplement because the soil was not depleted. Your food was not contaminated. It wasn't mass produced. You know
how we cook it, how we eat it.
Yeah.
And how we even farm it too, actually.
Yeah. Farm it, right.
Because of all the chemicals and pesticides that get thrown onto these fields. And yeah, you get the food, but it's not perfect. but there's other ways to do it. That's another whole thing. There was a movie, and anybody who's listening, I don't know if you ladies have heard of this. It's called Kiss the Ground. It's got Woody Harrelson as the narrator.
I never saw that.
I would check it out.
No kidding.
I'm not a big, huge proponent of the whole climate change theory and Al Gore and all that, but that movie is compelling.
Okay.
A lot of facts are presented in there about how to farming and food in general, and how things really should be going instead of how they are going. And we're moving in that direction. So I didn't mean to make this a lecture. But.
Well, that's okay. But don't you have one of your colleagues out your way, Chris, that he's trying to
Yes,
create the right environment for
yes, that's the Dick's Ave. I'll just plug him. He's my client anyway.
Yeah.
The Dick's Ave Diner. Guy's name is Randy Gross, and he is on Dix Avenue in Queensbury, New York. And his whole thing is about farm to fork, farm fresh, grass-fed beef.
Great.
All the free roaming chickens, all of that. And he's the one that got me to be interested in that Kiss the Ground. In fact, he hosts dinner and a movie on occasion and shows that movie, and he packs the place. Well, packed within social distancing and all that, but what he can do, and he's got a big building there, so he uses that. So
can you write in the chat box the name of the movie and everything? That might be good for your viewers.
Yes, I will. I'll post it right there.
And the other thing is they harvest too soon many times because it has to go to market. And so you lose nutrients.
Well, the federal subsidies do a lot of that too. See, I don't want to get into it.
No, yeah, but these are just something fast facts, as they say.
Oh, we could have him maybe sometime as a special guest on our health chat, because I think it's important to spread.
Randy would love that. I'm set to do a podcast with him, my own Bo Knows Who's Changing the World podcast. But for him, because this relates directly to what we're all saying here, so he could be the fourth window on this StreamYard chat.
Great.
And that would be great.
Well, next week, speaking of topics, next week we're going to talk about, a lot of times when I talk to people, they're like, I just can't afford a good supplement. I just go to the store and I just get whatever's on the shelf. We're going to talk about why that's not such a great idea and how you can afford it. We're going to have our special guest, Jennifer, come back and join us. So I'm hoping a lot of people come on, because she's got some tips on how she could afford it. And at first she couldn't, but when she found better health, she was like, I have to figure this out. And so she'll share hers.
Well, a lot of people.
And I will share ours. Chris can share his.
I have a story from being a college student and putting myself through school and having loans, etc. And I started on, of course, as a nurse, you're more health conscious, but I really felt like, how did I do it? And I can share that with you next week.
Yeah. So we got to go back to our eating smart tips, right? So
okay, let me just go back to let me kind of fast back. So avocados. We're back.
Oh yeah, back to avocados. Okay.
Okay, so in New York, so many places now you use avocado as rather than butter on your toast, and then you maybe put a little bit of salt and pepper on it, and maybe a tomato maybe on it, and it changes the taste of the avocado, and it's really yummy.
Avocado toast is my fave.
It's
okay. What kind of bread?
I like rye bread or whole grain breads. I like in general.
Who's got a good bread up here? Oh, now I'm blanking on the name of that. I didn't take my mind work yet. I think it's called Bob's 21 grain. It's the one that has the red packaging.
Saratoga based or somewhere near us here?
You can get it in the store up here.
Okay.
I get it from my husband and I all the time. That's what I love my avocado toast on. And some restaurants.
Avocado oil or avocados itself?
Avocado. It's like butter. Put it on like butter.
Yeah, it's mashed. You can even in some recipes substitute mayonnaise with avocado, mashed avocado.
Put a little bit of lemon in it. It's really delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a change. It's a thought. But
It's just different.
this is good, right?
Yeah, avocado toast, Chris, is like mashed avocado that's spread on the bread. It's got some Himalayan sea salt on it and tomato, chopped up tomato
On toast.
on toast. It's so good. Oh my God, I wish
It is really. Now I'm hungry. All right, now I'm hungry. All right, look what you did.
Look what you did.
I already ate my avocado yesterday.
I know. Anyway, okay. So the other thing I wanted to mention with the oils, back to oils again, is how you store your.
Jumping all over.
So a nutritionist once said that our brains, we have fat brains. There's a lot of fat in our brains. That's why we're talking about fats right now. And avocado is a fat. Olive oils are fat. These are all the good fats. We don't want hydrogenated like margarine. We don't want it. That's not good. But the liquid oils are better. You want to store them in a cooler place in a brown bottle because they do develop free radicals, which is the thing we want to avoid with our brains. So keeping it in a darker container in a cooler place is really, people don't know that. And even olive oil, you want to make sure in the bottle, when you buy it in the store, you want it in a darker bottle.
I get it in Philippa Berrio is in a can.
Right, there you go. That's very economical too. It's really economical also. That's great. That's awesome.
I've been using that for 30 years.
So all the things we're telling you is like about increasing your circulation to your brain. I wanted to put it in a bigger umbrella. And then you have more foods to talk about also, Deb? Is that what you're going to do next?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about increasing your intake of lecithin because our brain is said to be made up of as much as 30% lecithin, which drives your memory, thinking, and muscle control. So
fat brain.
Yep. So if you can increase your lecithin intake by consuming egg yolks, I don't do organ meats anymore since I was a kid, but liver, peanuts, whole grains, milk, and soybeans. Those are some ways you can increase that memory and thinking.
And there's some amazing stories of just adding lecithin to your diet. Some really interesting stories about that. It's something that we don't talk about very much, but it's a really important oil.
Right. Very good. Another one is vitamin E. Daily supplement of vitamin E is said to reduce the annual mental decline rate in dementia patients by as much as 19%.
Ooh, wow.
It's great.
Yeah. Now, vitamin E is an antioxidant, so it reduces cell stress, which promotes better memory. And you also get a double benefit because it's shown to support healthy insulin and blood sugar levels. And we talked about the importance of blood sugar levels before, right? When Diana was talking.
Yeah.
Blood sugar.
Yeah, keeping that consistent throughout the day. I mean, people skip lunches sometimes. They'll skip dinner. I mean, don't skip it. Something light is fine. And you want to do something with
But I got to get all this work done. Well,
that's right. I know. But your brain needs fuel. If you think about it like that.
I'll just grab coffee.
or
triple espresso. I'll have a triple espresso with more caffeine than Jolt Cola. Remember that?
Jolt Cola. I know. I hear you. Anyway, so like yesterday I was teaching. I teach a class at 12 o'clock. So that's my lunch hour, right? So I'm teaching exercise on my lunch hour. So afterwards I'm hungry. So I prepare for that. I do something light before and something light afterwards. And then that offsets my 4 o'clock craziness that can happen when I haven't eaten lunch.
Mm.
So just thinking about it, preparing, you can bring nuts with you. You can, I do all kinds. We have a snack bar that I really love that it's really light. It's like 100 calories or something like that. It's delicious. So just preparing for the day so that you can have fuel throughout the day. It avoids crashes, your energy crashes, but it also helps with memory and your mood and just getting you and keeping you motivated throughout the day.
Right. Wow.
when you were talking before, Chris, about, like you got to get this done, you got to get this done. You don't want, you have to be able to manage your stress. That's very stressful, that whole pressure thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to be able to cope with that because it deprives our brains of oxygen when you're under such stress. Another.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, sometimes you have 3-4 deadlines, and you hear about this. You see this in movies, but it's reality. I mean, you got these executives in their cubicles, in their offices, or wherever they're at, even work from home. It's like, I got all this stuff, and I got 5 computer screens running and 6 tablets and 4 phones, and everything is nuts. And you just got to take a break, no matter what needs to be done, because you're not going to be alive to worry about it if you keep.
Yeah, because you're depriving the oxygen to your brain. So the best thing to do in that situation, a little tip would be you notice you start to ramp up. You can feel it in your chest. Just stop. It's not going to kill you to take 3 minutes and just do some deep breathing.
Yeah.
Right. And how does that help?
Well, that releases a lot of that tension, right? The breathing forces you to be present, calm down, release the tension, and then you're better able to tackle those 3 things, right? Because now you've had time to kind of settle.
And you're more effective.
Yeah.
You really are more effective in what you're doing because
Right.
you have the energy to think about it. Here's the other thing is when you're running to the bus or running to something, how are you breathing? Is it usually in your chest or your stomach? It's a quiz. It's a quiz.
Stomach.
Okay, you're breathing in your throat. Think about this.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so that your brain is saying to yourself, "I'm stressed." It's like an automatic. So it starts doing that whole stress thing, which is cortisol, which is not good for the brain.
Uh-oh, she lost her sound again. Your sound's gone. There's a short in your microphone somewhere, I think. No, we can't hear you. No, you're gone.
All right. While we're waiting for Diana, I'm going to.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I really apologize for that. Okay, so so what you want to do is you want to breathe deep. So what Deb was saying, but I would just, if you recognize it in your body, where the parts of your body, it's really a good reminder to breathe really into your belly, like deep into your belly, shoulders down, and breathing deep. And that's what brings your brain more focused. So our frontal lobe here, our thinking part of our brain is like here. Our survival is back here. So why we lose it is because we're not getting the circulation all the way up to here.
Oh, yeah.
I heard somebody say that and I thought, that's so interesting.
It's brilliant.
That's so interesting. It's just like wow. So when you can connect it to your body, it kind of grounds it a little bit.
So reduce stress wherever possible.
Well, just breathe deep.
Yeah.
Take that moment. You hear that a lot nowadays. They're really mentioning a lot on the TV shows, and because I feel like it's the first thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first thing is to breathe. Don't just breathe in your chest. If you put your hands on your belly and breathe all the way into your belly, mm-hmm. by your navel, just breathe all the way into your belly. It just shifts your thinking. It brings you like a little bit of a different place.
It does.
And then you can think clearer.
Yeah, because you're actually taking the time to focus, right? So you're focusing on that, which is taking you away from whatever it is that's causing you stress.
One thing I did once on a daily walk for coffee. I don't know if I ever actually got the coffee. I didn't actually get the coffee. I just called it that because it sounded good. Ooh, there's a trade secret.
We won't tell anybody.
That one time. Okay. Because I had been speaking with a LinkedIn friend. Her name is Jan Reeder. And she is into meditation and breathing. And if you focus on one breath at a time, one breath in and then out. I mean, focus on the in and focus on the out. once, twice, 3 times, pretty soon you're relaxed.
Mhm.
And the
I
whole
talked about this on a coffee walk one day. I'm like, I love that.
we can only deal with one thing at a time anyway. We think we can multitask, don't we?
Oh yeah, I
We
was.
think we can, but even computers can't do that. I mean, it goes from here to here, but so each time you're breathing, it's another moment, right? So you can only do one thing. So if you can just say, I can control right now, that's powerful.
Mhm.
It's so powerful.
The moment,
Yeah.
the one moment.
That's a good point. Now, I've got a little thing that we can do in order to help our stress at a cellular level, and that's to supplement with grapeseed extract. That's one of the most powerful antioxidants known to man. Its valuable micronutrients are called polyphenols. Have you ever heard of polyphenols, Chris?
The name, but I'm not really sure what they are.
Well, they're 50 times more potent than vitamin C and E.
Oh my God. It's an antioxidant.
Yep. So the use of grapes as food and medicine goes back to 6,000 years ago in ancient Egypt and Greece. Mm-hmm. And the researchers found that it can penetrate the blood-brain barrier and fight stress at the cellular level.
Wow. So grapes.
Right.
Right. So it can get inside the brain cells to protect them from toxins.
Red grapes or green grapes?
Well,
I think red are better. Red, I think, because it's Chardonnay.
Actually, yes, you're right. And they taste better too.
Well, polyphenols are commonly used as a preventative measure against many.
Diana's having all kinds of microphones.
I need some polyphenols.
Yeah. Well, let me just give you one more point. So they're commonly used as a preventative measure against many eye and brain diseases, including cataracts, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and other diseases related to mental decline.
Right.
So unfortunately, grapes in general tend to carry a fairly high toxic residue because so many producers only rely on the use of pesticides when growing their grapes. So if you do get a supplement that contains grapeseed extract, it's important to look for one whose finished product was tested for purity. Now, Diana was saying that the best extract is from Chardonnay grapeseed, right, Di?
Yes.
Because it's one of the most potent forms of an antioxidant. So if you use products with guarana extract, that's a little berry native to the Amazon. That was used for a long time by the Guarani tribe who lived in the Amazon basin in Brazil. And they considered it, the seed, to have medicinal and magical powers. It's hailed for its ability to almost instantly restore a person's energy.
Nice.
And there's a lot more history around that, but it's also a natural extract from the seed that a lot of clinical tests have shown to have enhanced memory, sharpen your focus, and improve reaction time. So there's a lot of different things that we can go into. We don't have the time, but there's a lot of different seeds and that we could discuss. And
foods that are specialized for brain.
Yeah, and Chris, with your coffee talk, guarana is one of the richest sources of caffeine, containing up to 3 times the amount of caffeine as coffee.
Guarana?
Guarana, Guarana. And it's a lot of times promoted in energy drinks.
Oh, right. Yes, that's what I've seen.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's why it was familiar when I first heard about it.
Yeah. So when you're looking for a brain boosting product that contains guarana, be sure to find one where they're not after the caffeine. You want to find a product where they've selected an extract that reflects the complexity of the seed's natural profile, like a grape extract, and make sure it's tested for potency and purity.
Well, here's the thing. You want to find a company that does these things, so you don't have to be worried about all these things.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why I mean, that's the thing. I have done research over the last 30 years to find what company does all these things. And that's why I partnered with the company I'm working with now. And they do these things. They do 300,000 quality control tests on raw materials, beginning, middle, and end. So that's like important to me because when I take supplements, I'm taking them every day. It's an everyday thing. And whatever I get, I want to make sure I'm getting it the most potent part of it and also not and pure. Those are like my two big criteria. So it's important to know who the company is, not so much the ingredient. People buy ingredients all the time, but who's making this vitamin? Who's making this supplement? It's important to do your research, and we can help you with that. So
Yeah.
Let's settle a question, and I'm sure some of the viewers and listeners might have it. What is wrong with energy drinks?
it depends what's in them, first of all, and it's that up and that down, and it's hard on the brain.
Yeah.
It's that quick up and that quick and the crash.
And a crash.
Up and the crash, because when we get low again, then we're like,
Have another one.
and we're not using common sense really at that point because you know what I mean. When you get to, I mean, in reality, let's be real here. You know, you don't pick the best things when you're crashing.
No.
Right. So it's just like it's really hard on the brain.
Gotcha.
It's really hard on the brain. It's that up and down. It's consistently that's doing that.
Is there any good? There aren't any good ones, or are there? I mean, is there a good energy drink?
Oh yeah. Well, it depends what's in it. That's why I said in the beginning what's in the energy drink.
Well, so I don't want to make the whole thing about that. But
Yeah.
what are we doing? What are we talking about next week?
We're talking about the how to afford a good supplement.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer's going to give us some tips, but I would like. Do we have a lot of people on here, Chris? Because I can't see.
Nobody's been commenting today.
Oh, okay. So maybe we can talk a little bit about MindWorks, Diana.
That's a good idea. So we can.
Let me just add this before you take that, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are super busy and they're perfectly fine with doing their breathing and taking a supplement that's going to help them keep their mind in sharp form, as opposed to making sure they get everything. Now, I'm not saying replace this with good blueberries, organic and everything, but we do have a product for those of you that, I mean, I take it every day and I have never lost my keys since, so must be working, right?
Where's my phone?
I always know where my phone is, right?
Here's what I noticed. It's funny with this particular product is I teach exercise, right? And people are not going to be patient with you if you're going to forget the next exercise, or the next exercise, or the next exercise. So I started like realizing, oh my goodness, I'm not remembering. And I started with this product, and I don't have that problem anymore. That was my big dramatic like aha moment. So it really does help.
Yeah, it's a good brain supplement. It takes a comprehensive approach to your short and long-term benefits. It's going to give you both. It contains key ingredients that we talked about a little bit that helps with your mental sharpness and focus, helps protect against age-related mental decline. But the bigger thing is, and Diana touched on this, is you got to know what's in it, and you got to trust the company that makes it, because this product called MindWorks has no harmful chemicals or side effects. And, you know, it's a compound or 100% of plant origin. It has
So if we were to take, let me just speak from almost a layman's viewpoint then.
Yeah.
Okay. If I was to take the Vitalizer Gold, the B complex.
That's in your Vitalizer Gold.
Okay, so it's there. It's already in there. So that contains it. And this MindWorks that we're talking about?
Yeah.
I'd be good, wouldn't I?
And your protein. The protein.
And the shakes. I don't have one with me today. But.
Yeah, because remember we were talking about the guarana, and I could be mispronouncing that. That's been clinically shown to improve your cognitive performance in healthy adults. So that extract is in MindWorks.
Okay.
It's the complexity of the seed's natural profile. So it's not like, I don't know. It does enhance your memory, it sharpens your focus, improves your reaction time. And in the clinical trials, it showed that it was 3 times better than in the control group. These key ingredients were.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just okay. So there was a 2-year study on this product. So that's pretty impressive. First, number one, 2-year study. So people that took it had better memory and focus.
Yeah.
30% less shrinkage of your brain, which I don't know how they measure that, but that's what they did. And then increased circulation. And this is a 2-year study that was completed before this product came out. So, and it's a peer-reviewed, double-blind study. So I like that. I have faith in that.
Right. And to go back to what Chris's concern was about in the energy drinks, because you'll see the guarana promoted in those.
Yeah.
Well, what they're doing again is they're extracting the caffeine from that seed. But with MindWorks, it's not the caffeine they're after. They're after the profile that helps you and helps your brain. I'm not a scientist, but the amount of caffeine in MindWorks is less than a medium-sized cup of decaf coffee, right? So.
Oh no, decaf isn't decaf?
No, I'm sorry.
People are going to say that. They're going to ask. But it's decaf. It says there's no caffeine. Well, wrong.
Yep.
Right? How much really is in there, Deb, since we're talking about it?
I don't know.
In what? In decaf?
In decaf, yeah.
It's about half of what's in a regular cup of coffee.
Okay.
And they use a chemical to extract it also.
Right. So you want to stay away from chemical processes, you know.
Oh, so there goes.
I mean, I think there's some brands that have that do it more naturally, but generally speaking, that's what it is.
Okay.
Well, and I'm not sure if you said this already, Diana, but before releasing MindWorks, the ingredients were actually, before Shackley actually brought it to market, the ingredients were actually tested for 2 years in over 200 people with mild cognitive impairment. So it was compared to a similar brain enhancer. And what Shackley found was that the group using MindWorks boasted 3 times the mental acuity of the control group. And by the end of the 2-year time frame, the key nutrients were slowing the brain shrinkage rate by as much as 30%. That's what you were saying before.
I was summarizing.
Yeah. They were like, I don't know how they did this. This would be a good question to ask the scientists at Shackley, but they performed extensive blood-brain barrier testing. I wonder how they do that. I guess we could read the published peer-reviewed papers in the medical journals.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, in any case, it is guaranteed to increase your mental performance, slow the brain shrinkage.
MindWorks. I got time to get that in on an order, don't I?
Oh, you do.
Mm-hmm.
And
the other thing is that
10% off.
Well, the other thing is that a portion of the proceeds bottle.
Oh wait, hold on, Diana. Your mic is going crazy, and you're gone again. No, you're on mute now. Oh, that's on purpose. Okay. All right.
Oh, there must be noise in the background. But this is pretty important that a portion of the proceeds from each bottle of MindWorks is donated to a fund for brain health research.
Okay.
Continues.
Good.
And as all Shackley products, if you're not happy in 30 days, you can return it for your money back.
Well, if you want to know more about this, all these great things that the ladies are talking about today, the gurus, I call them health gurus, get a hold of me directly on whatever platform you're watching, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or even through YouTube, or even Twitch. We're on the gaming platform too. So any one of them, because these things are, I talked about Kiss the Ground earlier, the movie. Well, this is ground breaking stuff, really, to get you to live a long time. And my life goal is to live to be 100 years of age. And I want to be able to play games with my son when he's 70 and I'm 100. So I'm gonna kick your butt, Kenny. It's like, Dad, you can't even walk right anymore. It's like, I can still kick your butt. That'll be. But
well, our mission is to change sick care to well care.
That's it. Sick care to
so
well.
We're all part of the greater mission, and we're always happy to have people join us.
This is the longest session we've had, Deb and Diana. It's over an hour now.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. No apologies, because we're on a roll. We kept going and going and going.
Cool.
So that's good.
We'll get together next week and talk about how you can afford your supplements.
We had some people waving to us on Instagram. One of them is an old friend of mine named Aaron Kelly. Hi, Aaron. And somebody's name, I don't want to mess it up. It ends with WICZ. I never get those right. I'm not even. Your name, Kim. Good
morning, Kim.
Well, don't forget to reach out.
Borisowitz. I think I got it right. I'm sorry, Deb. Go ahead.
That's okay. Don't forget to reach out to Chris. We have a free ebook, because I'm sure you missed some of the topics we discussed. We do have a free ebook on that, on the topic we discussed today.
We're going to end the broadcast. Ladies, hang out for a second afterwards,
sure.
If you do. And we'll talk to you all next week. Say goodbye to Instagram.
Have a great day. Have a great week. Bye.
Close that. End video. Instagram is off. Oh, she left anyway. Hang on.